Hola, buenos días. Es Nico.
I have a question, and don't fight me because I know how you girls like to tussle.
Nico, you're a little bit further from the camera. Yeah, I'm actually sitting crisscross applesauce in my desk chair just because I'm in my sweatpants, I'm in a tank top, and I'm comfortable. Before we get started, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me at patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics, where you get 3 videos a week, 2 are YouTube early access, and you also get 2 weekly lives, depending on your tier. But yeah, now that we got that plugged, that's all I'm gonna do. Social medias are in the links in the item description box, whatever the fuck. So let's get started. Essentially, this topic is going to require a lot of maturity. It's going to require a lot of patience. I may seem archaic with my personal opinion, but we're all allowed our opinions because at the end of the day, they are opinions, not factual. But let's get started. Essentially, someone made a tweet and I took a screenshot of it. I made sure that none of the information, like none of their ads are on there so that y'all don't berate them. Because this isn't a situation where they did anything necessarily wrong. It's just an interesting viewpoint that I wanted to talk about. And this conversation is it okay for content creators via OnlyFans, professional porn actors, etc., to still sleep with other people for content while in a relationship? Because what this person is saying is that as a content creator, a male performer, an escort, etc., whatever you want to call it, sex is their job. Sex with other people is how they make their money. And that when you two are having intercourse, you are making love. So that is a difference. And you should be okay with that. And we need to have this dialogue. And I will say that sex and making love are 2 different things. If you're on my Patreon, I discuss my own previous sexual encounters and my encounters with people that I actually love. It's a difference. There's a heavier weight to making love. There's emotional ties that make it a deeper connection, while sex is mostly just like masturbating with somebody's body. So when we have this conversation about infidelity via content creation, it's an interesting dialogue because I know what they're trying to say. And I'm not gonna pretend that I'm like, oh, no. Because when it comes to having OnlyFans, I've actually dated people with OnlyFans, and I don't necessarily mind as long as it's solo content. Nico, what do you mean solo content? Toys, masturbation, walking around naked, I don't care, as long as you're not sleeping with someone else. But that's going along the rules of monogamy. A lot of LGBT couples in 2022 practice the open relationship idea, where you are still able to sleep with whoever you want, but at the end of the day, you come home and you have your actual relationship and emotional ties with this person. And I feel like that situation is having your cake and eating it too. I'm not against it. I just feel like it's okay, I get my emotional connection, but we are still free to have as much sex with whoever you want as possible, which is their right and which is perfectly okay with me, honestly. I've yet to be in an open relationship, but I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I'm against it kind of thing. Because in theory, it's an interesting dynamic, but it also leaves a lot of room for error. What if you fall in love with this person that you're having sex with? What if one of you brings back a STI? Do you do it together or is it strictly separate? Is it allowed to be in the house while the other one is at work? Like, there's a lot of rules and dialogue that comes into having that kind of conversation about a relationship that I have yet to have to do. So that's why I'm saying I'm not against it. I personally, I'm one of those people that's like, if you're not harming anybody, I'm not going to be against something that has nothing to do with me, that kind of thing. So I'm not against that, but that's what it's kind of leaning on. But a lot of content creators don't want a quote unquote open relationship. Like in this situation, they're saying, we are monogamous, but I still have to have sex with other people for a living. And I understand that when it comes to OnlyFans, if you start off your OnlyFans having sex with other people, If you start off straight from the jump collaborating, that's what people are going to expect and want from you content-wise. If you start off saying, I'm strictly doing solo stuff, I just post my nudes, I just play with toys, that's the audience that you will attract. Sure, you can occasionally collaborate to spike some users, but the people will know what they're getting when they come to you. But if you casually get into a relationship and you stop partnering with people and you just go to posting nudes and solo work, you're slowly going to start to lose engagement, because that's not the kind of content that your audience had become when you were doing your marketing when you first started. So I understand the concept of, I have to have sex and this is a job, and this is not like I'm making love or that I'm cheating on you. I'm doing it for work, because sex work is work. I always tell you guys this. Like, I've had a few people like comment on some of my talking pieces, like slut shaming. And I have to tell you guys, I'm never slut shaming people. I've never actively slut shamed anyone. Have I talked about the actions of someone that does have sex a lot? Yes. Do I talk about the risks of excessive, unprotected sex in any degree, not even condoms, just not testing your partners, not getting tested yourself, no form of contraception, like literally no form of preemptive protection? Yes, I talk about that, but I've never shamed people for the actual act of having sex. And I want you guys to understand that I'm very sex positive, and I will never take a stance of shaming people for having sex. But this is an interesting dialogue that I wanted to bring up, because sex work is work. At the end of the day, if they started their OnlyFans brand with collaborations and having sex on camera, they are going to have to continue to do that to keep that same level of engagement. Because even when we see when OnlyFans performers get into couples and then they just perform with their boyfriend, yeah, the numbers are still high for a degree, but after you stopped adding that variability of different people, different scenes, different locations, people slowly dip out from just the, oh, we're a cute couple having sex, because you originally started with a variety. So I mean, it really depends on how you started your career, on how your audience is going to change when you switch it up. So personally, for me, on this topic, I would not be okay with my partner having sex with other people on camera if we were not an established open relationship. If we were an established open relationship, because when you come home and we make love, it's different, I would also like that liberty to have sex with other people. If you are having sex with other people on camera, just because I understand that it is work, but at the same time, that is not within the bounds of monogamy. So to then claim that I have to stay within the realms of monogamy while you're necessarily not in that realm, because that's a gray space when you start to incorporate actual sex work into the realm of monogamy, I would also want to be in that open area. If that was the understanding, then I personally wouldn't mind. But if it's you're expecting me to stay monogamous while you get to sleep with other people on camera, even if it is for work, I would not be okay with that. So essentially, if it was an open relationship, I would be down for that dynamic, but as a monogamous relationship, I would not accept that. You could still have an OnlyFans, be it solo content, but like I said prior, I understand how that would cause a dip in the income. But definitely drop your opinions down below. Would you be okay with your partner performing OnlyFans scenes with other people because it is work? Like, at the end of the day, it is work. They are monetizing it. They're gaining money. It's not like they're just having random hookups. Or would you demand that it be on equal footing, as in, okay, well, you can have sex with whoever you want on camera, but that also gives me the liberty to have sex as well? As in, would you be okay with an open relationship in that scenario rather than you being forced into monogamy and them being allowed to have sex because of work? Definitely drop your opinions down below. As always, these are opinions, they're not factual, and we will have a respectful and hopefully enlightening dialogue with different viewpoints. But yeah. Boop.
And once again, a quick thank you to all my patrons on Patreon, and a quick shout out to my third eye tier patrons. Your support means everything to me and helps me do this a lot more smoothly. I will also be listing this week's live stream topic in case anybody wants to join in on the fun. I will see you guys there.